How's it going, everyone? I'm Landon with LMR.com. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5.0 Resto's cruise control cable from the 1986 to 1993 Fox Mustangs, as well as installing one into this 1990 GT. The cruise control cable on 1986 to 1993 5-liter Mustangs connects the servo actuator arm in the cruise control module that's located within the driver's side fender to the throttle cable clip that connects to the arm on the throttle body. Without it, cruise control obviously won't work. This new cable from 5.0 Resto replaces a damaged, defective, or missing factory cable. It shares all the same dimensions and specs as the factory cable, which include the coated sheathing, mounting cover, hold-down bracket, cable ends, and the foam padding. This cable will work with 1986 to 1993 5-liter Mustangs with cruise control, and in the box will be one cable and retaining hardware. Today we're going to show the removal of the original cable and the installation of the new cable. If cruise control isn't working on your car, but the cable is good, then you'll need to do some additional troubleshooting of the system. The car we're working on today is this 1990 GT equipped with a T5 manual transmission. So if you own an automatic car, there is an additional cable on those cars, which is the throttle valve kickdown cable. You'll want to disconnect this from the throttle body arm for additional working room. As always, I'll leave any applicable torque specs and a list of tools in the video description. Since we already have the video on removing the inner fender splash shields, I'm going to start with the driver's side splash shield already removed from the car. So if you would like to see this process, check out the video in the description. With the splash shield out of the way, you want to go ahead and remove the fender to door jamb shield. This is held in place with two push type fasteners, so you'll want to remove those first. The fasteners on this car were missing. Loosen and remove the two 8mm bolts securing the cruise control module bracket to the car. Maneuver the module towards you. Open the boot by removing one side from the push pin and then roll the boot over the module. You'll want to go ahead and use this opportunity to inspect the vacuum hoses and wires for any damage. Loosen and remove the two 10mm nuts securing the cable mounting cover to the module. Blow away any dust and debris with some compressed air. Now you can carefully lift up on the mounting cover to expose the servo actuator, and then we can leave this alone for the time being. Now we'll need to head to the engine bay. Depending on the year of the car, loosen the hose clamps and remove the air inlet tube. Dislodge the throttle position sensor harness clip from the throttle cable bracket. Loosen and remove the 8mm screw securing the cruise control cable hold-down bracket to the throttle cable bracket. Carefully dislodge the cable clip from the ball stud on the throttle body arm. Loosen and remove the two 10mm bolts securing the throttle cable bracket to the intake and then bring it towards you. Push the throttle cable out of the clip. Feed the cruise control cable around the back of the intake and down the firewall. Pass it through the opening in the driver's side rear corner of the engine bay. Place a towel over the brake rotor and caliper. Set the module on top of the brake rotor and caliper. Gently remove the eyelet on the cable towards the large opening in the actuator arm to remove it. Then you can feed it through the opening in the boot. The cable can now be removed from the car. Pass the new cable through the boot and the opening in the corner of the engine bay. It would be best if you push the cable through the openings rather than pulling. Run it down the back of the firewall in the same orientation as the previous cable. If it's needed, remove surrounding components and pieces for a less restrictive path. Once you make the turn toward the throttle body, make sure the cruise control cable passes over the heater hoses. Go ahead and align the small locating dowel on the hold-down bracket with the small hole in the throttle cable bracket. Install the screw and then run it down with your fingers. Now you'll need to press pause in the engine bay and head back to the module. Pass the eyelet on the new cable through the large opening in the actuator arm and then make sure it engages into the metal clip, and then reposition the mounting cover into place. Install the two nuts and then run them down evenly until they're snug. Whatever you do, don't over tighten. Pull the boot back over the module and then re-engage the push pin. Maneuver the module back into position and then reinstall and retighten the two retaining bolts. Reinstall the fender to door jamb shield. Now to transfer the throttle cable clip, you'll lift up on the metal retaining clip with a flathead screwdriver to dislodge it and transfer it to the new cable in the same placement and orientation. This clip is also available on the website if you want to purchase a new one. Install the throttle cable into the clip. Align the throttle cable bracket with the intake and start both bolts by hand. Then you can go ahead and tighten both bolts. Fully tighten the cruise control hold-down bracket bolt. Reinstall the throttle position sensor harness clip. Reinstall the throttle cable back onto the ball stud. Go ahead and situate the sheathing on the new cruise control cable where it makes contact with other parts. Reinstall the inlet tube. Reconnect any component that was removed for additional working room. Check over your work and then reinstall the wheel. Go for a quick drive and then verify that cruise control is operating correctly. After that, then you can reinstall your splash shield and you're good to go. All right, people, wrapping things up here. This cable is pretty straightforward to replace, but the placement of the module does make it a little time consuming. All in all here, this is a great part for your 1986 to 1993 5-liter Fox Mustang equipped with cruise control. If y'all appreciate our commitment in making and offering great parts for the Foxbody Mustang, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. That's all we have for you today. So until we catch you in the next one, y'all know what to do for all things Foxbody Mustang. Keep it right here with the Real Enthusiasts, LMR.com.